Hi there Virgo, I'm EllaAradia and welcome to your June 2025 Psychic Tarot reading. So this reading is for my Virgo Earth signs where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. So this is a general reading. It's going to resonate a little bit differently for all of you. Although sometimes these messages can get quite specific, but what I do find is there's always a shared theme that just runs through the collective of all of you Virgo signs. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoy this reading and you haven't already done that, please do, as it helps the channel out a lot. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. And then of course you can get notified when the next videos are up. Okay, Virgo, let's jump in. So what I'm seeing straight away for many of you, that at some point in the not too distant future, I feel like you're going to come to a fork in the road. So this is like a crossroads, and it's often a point in our lives, you know, where there is a significant choice to be made. The kind of choice which can really redirect the path of your life. And for many of you, this is going to, you know, resonate with career or job, or perhaps a project that you're involved with. And it's this sense for me of, you know, feeling in a loop somehow. And, you know, while it's served its purpose, because I do feel that, you know, you've gained experience, you've learnt valuable lessons, somehow there is this feeling of, you know, it's come to a point where you're not feeling appreciated somehow. And it's this sense of almost waiting for that recognition. You're feeling undervalued is what I'm getting. And in terms of relationships, I feel like many of you, you know, it's the same thing, it's the same theme, but it's playing out in a different area of your life. And I feel that many of you are waiting for some kind of commitment. There's this sense of, you know, things needing to go to the next level, and you're waiting for a commitment that could be, you know, moving in with your partner. For some of you, it might even be marriage. And there is again this same feeling of, you know, needing, waiting for the relationship to be honored and acknowledged in that way. So with your overall energies, we have the Magician. So the Magician is that, you know, it's basically that pure potential, and it's also a reminder that you have everything you need already inside of you in order to create and to manifest, you know, whatever you want in life. And with your current energies, we have the Ten of Wands. So this is a card of completion. And it does feel to me like something, you know, a lot of work's gone into it, you know, whether that's the relationship or the job or the project. But there is a sense of it coming to a point where you're just kind of carrying that now. Like there's a heaviness about it. There's this kind of, you know, loop that's just, yeah, going round and round that you're feeling a little bit stuck in. So followed by the Hierophant. Now, sometimes I call this my kind of counseling card, because this is about perhaps getting in touch with, you know, your inner wisdom, those kind of higher, wise, all-knowing aspects of ourselves. Sometimes it can be about seeking out guidance from, you know, a trusted friend or mentor of some kind. And in terms of relationships, for me this highlights the importance of a relationship being built on, shared values. And with your feelings towards your situation, we have Temperance. And Temperance is a card of healing. It's about balance. And with the Cups in the image here, there is liquid being poured from one cup into the other. So it's blending of energies to create something new. And so for many of you, I feel like there is this sense of, feeling like there is a need for change here. And so in your challenge position, we have the Five of Pentacles. And there's a fear then to perhaps lose or leave something behind or leave somebody behind. The Five of Pentacles also is, for me, a card about really knowing your worth and your value. And these are what I feel the soul lessons are for you in this situation. And sometimes, it is about making a move in order to do that. Remembering your worth, your value, but also, making a move that actually demonstrates that to the universe without the fear perhaps of loss or having to leave something behind. And so that's the challenge right now, especially in terms of, a relationship, when there are, those deeper feelings of love perhaps, and a fear to, lose that person and kind of lose everything that you've invested. But at the same time, things need to shift. And with the Emperor as your advice and guidance from the universe, this is about standing in your power. This is a card of, strong foundations. It's about security. It's a card of control sometimes, but more than anything, it's about taking your power and really standing strongly in your truth. And with your potential outcome, we have the Devil, which is really interesting. And I feel like this is a really important kind of point to make, that while perhaps there are some attachments and investments that you've made in your relationship or perhaps your career, your job, are they, are these really healthy attachments? Because the Devil, is all about, unhealthy patterns, toxic relationships, whether that's, like I said, your job or a connection that you have with somebody. And sometimes that can perhaps serve a purpose for us, because then, it avoids us having to perhaps, face our fears and, make that move forward. And standing in the energy, of appreciating and valuing yourself, for what you have to give. And so, it really is about facing fears and insecurities and perhaps limiting beliefs that you might be holding about yourself. And having the courage to, take action on that. But of course, with a relationship, you do need to be ready for anything. And what I was seeing was, it's like putting your cards on the table. and expressing, you know, your true needs, your true desires, and what you really want from a partner, from the relationship. But of course, there's always, you have to be ready for anything. And so either in doing that, you know, things will indeed kind of shift to that new level. But for some of you, it could, you know, be a make or break point. So Virgo, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, you know, moving forwards, always trust what feels right for you. So thanks so much for being here, and I wish you a great month ahead.